On another day, a third spirit appeared at his law office. Ji Jiang was no longer bothered, nor panicked. He decided to handle special cases on their behalf. This lawyer was really too special. Just 1 second he was seriously discussing, and the next second his whole face was flushed. Then he rushed to the board in the law office and wrote down the physical formulas. He tried to use the entire wall of scientific principles to prove that there are absolutely no demons in this world. Today, Ji Jiang's office has another ghost. This time it was the soul of a man in his 30s, but he insisted on not believing he was dead. Still resolutely denying the existence of demons, his mouth constantly gave a series of citations from scientists. As for the claim that the devil cannot exist in this scientific world. At this time, the priest and his brother-in-law were trying to see how to identify the ghost. Unexpectedly, as soon as he raised his head, Ji Jiang, who was not good at math, physics, and chemistry, was frantically writing formulas on the board. He wanted to use those formulas to prove that the devil was an illusion. The priest immediately squirted holy water on Ji Jiang, and the ghost entered his body before leaving. Following that scientific clue, the brother-in-law went online to find out the identity of the ghost. His name is Sang Ho, and he's a leading genius scholar in the field of life sciences in the country. After confirming his identity, Ji Jiang quickly looked up the ghost's birthday online. The moment the name and date of birth were read, the ghost immediately remembered all of his memories. Sang Ho finally realized that he was really dead. According to information on the internet, a few years ago, Sang Ho met the daughter of the director of the Life Sciences Research Institute, and then married her. Not long after the two had a son, and the family of 3 lived completely happily. But disaster struck again. Not long ago, Sang Ho went missing. After investigating, the police found bloodstains on Sang Ho's floor, from which the disappearance turned into a murder case. Based on Sang Ho's wife's psychiatric diagnosis record, the prosecution is preparing to charge her with murder. Na Haiyan is the lawyer who defends Sang Ho's wife, who tells Na Haiyan that she did not kill her husband. But Sang Ho's account with Ji Jiang is completely the opposite. He claims that he was murdered by his wife. However, in specific details, Sang Ho still does not remember clearly to investigate the truth. Tonight, Ji Jiang, under the guidance of a ghost, sneaks into his house while standing in a familiar space. Sang Ho's memories gradually become clear. He remembers the night of the crime he had quarreled with his wife. After his wife and children fell asleep, he went to the toilet to wash his face. In the toilet, Sang Ho seemed to see something pass by very quickly, but because the mirror was covered with steam, he couldn't determine what he had seen in the end. In the middle of the night, Ji Jiang was sleeping soundly. Unexpectedly, Sang Ho appeared sitting next to the bed. Asked Ji Jiang what happened to the ghosts who came to him afterwards. Yank answered truthfully. All the ghosts that came to him were exonerated and left for a good place. Ji Jiang also promises that when Sang Ho's wife pays for her sins, he will also send Sang Ho to a better place. But Sang Ho shook his head again. He didn't want his wife to be convicted compared to the grief of being murdered. In Sang Ho's heart, more is the feeling of guilt for his wife. After getting married, Sang Ho buried his head in research all day, neglecting to be with his wife and caring about his wife. After the birth of the child, Sang Ho pushed all the child care for his wife, even causing his wife to suffer from postpartum depression. In Sang Ho's mind, it was he who ruined his wife's good life. Even if the wife makes a mistake, it is understandable, precisely because it carries this feeling of guilt. Sang Ho only hopes that his wife can live well, hoping that his son can grow up healthy in his mother's care. Ji Jiang couldn't help but exclaim, Sang Ho is really a good father. Tomorrow there will be a trial. Ji Jiang advised Sang Ho to try to be patient for a while. Wait for the results of the trial, and then the company decides. The next morning before going to court, for fear of being possessed again, Ji Jiang told Sang Ho to stay in his office. While walking, he noticed that there was a roof clip in Na Haiyan's hair. Ji Jiang seemed to be in a bad mood and pulled his hair to take the clip down. After seeing Na Haiyan bleeding from her nose, she gave her a handkerchief when she learned that Na Haiyan was the defense lawyer of this case. Ji Jiang immediately advised her not to try too hard. After all, it was true that his wife killed Sang Ho in the toilet. Na Haiyan asks Ji Jiang how he knows, to which Ji Jiang mysteriously replies that it was said by a ghost. Na Haiyan still didn't believe it. She just wanted to stay away from a weird person like Ji Jiang, and told her to treat it as if she didn't know her in the future. Hearing Na Haiyan say that, Ji Jiang's face showed a glimpse of sadness. After the trial, the prosecution presented photos of the scene as evidence, proving that the shower curtain in the toilet was stained with Sang Ho's blood, determining that the place where Sang Ho was murdered was the toilet. The perpetrator then moved the body outside, based on the traces of blood splattered on the shower curtain. The prosecution said that, in addition to Su Zhong's wife, there was also an accomplice at the scene and based on speculative height. This person was most likely a man. Na Haiyan denied the prosecution's allegations, did not expect Su Zhang to directly admit to the murder, and also confirmed that there were no accomplices, saying that it was all caused by her alone. But Na Haiyan didn't believe this testimony. She thought that Su Zhang pleaded guilty to hiding from his accomplice, as even with his lawyer, Su Zhang kept the truth, continuing to insist that there was no accomplice. Ji Jiang and his brother-in-law also had the same thoughts. They suspected Su Zhang of pleading guilty to protecting someone else. Ji Jiang reminded his brother-in-law not to talk about his accomplice to Sang Hu, if he knew that his wife was trying to hide it from another man. Sang Hu would most likely lose control completely to find out the truth without provoking Sang Hu. Ji Jiang decides that he must find his body first. He asks Sang Hu if he can think of a place where his wife can hide the body. Sang Hu did think of a place, which was a cemetery near the research institute. When Ji Jiang was about to leave, Na Haiyan suddenly came over, asking Ji Jiang how he knew that the crime scene was a toilet. Ji Jiang replied that it was a ghost, but Na Haiyan asked Ji Jiang to prove it to her. At least let the ghost bring up the notebook on the table for her to see with her own eyes. Ji Jiang seriously told Na Haiyan, the ghosts here can't hold objects or move instantaneously like in the movie. But at the same time, Ji Jiang pointed to the formulas on the board that he wrote when he was typed and affirmed that it was proof. If Na Haiyan doesn't believe it, he can compare the handwriting, but Na Haiyan still refuses to believe it, and says that even though Su Zhang has pleaded guilty, it doesn't mean that Ji Jiang won the case. She might expose Ji Jiang's lies, but that's why it's also there. Sang Hu knew about his wife's confession, and he asked Ji Jiang why he didn't tell him. Ji Jiang only said that it was because he was afraid that he would be heartbroken, and the accomplice continued to hide it. Late in the evening, Ji Jiang drove Sang Hu to the cemetery, relying on the perpetrator's psychology to commit the crime. He drove into a dark small street with no cameras or streetlights, and then tracked the scene to search. Very quickly, they discovered a wasteland that had just been dug up. When Ji Jiang started digging, Sang Hu suddenly noticed a suspicious point. With only the strength of his wife alone, it is impossible to bury the body, much less bury the body by himself. From there, Sang Hu guessed that his wife must have an accomplice. Instead, he could not continue to hide. Ji Jiang had to tell the truth. When he learned that his wife alone bore all the sins, Sang Hu quickly realized she did it to protect the other person. At the same time that the memory became clearer, Sang Hu finally remembered. The person who buried his body was his father-in-law. Na Haiyan also tracked down this clue not long before. Na Haiyan went to meet Sang Hu's colleague at the research institute. The colleague told her that Sang Hu's father-in-law had a lot of suspicious points. According to this person, in order to save his wife with a rare disease, Su Zhang's father arranged a marriage between his daughter and Sang Hu, the purpose of which was to take advantage of the results of Sang Hu's research. Because he was developing a drug to treat that disease, it is not clear why he suddenly stopped researching. The colleague speculated that Su Zhang's guilt was not only for protecting his father, but also because the seriously ill mother only recognized her husband and completely dependent on him. When he remembered what his father-in-law had done, Sang Hu immediately got angry, causing him to continue to enter Ji Jiang's body again. Carrying anger and resentment, Sang Hu borrowed Ji Jiang's body to visit his father-in-law, then shouted to ask why he killed him, why he left Su Zhang alone to suffer cold imprisonment. At this moment, Sang Hu's son came out. In a panic, his father-in-law hurriedly hugged his grandson and ran into the house. Sang Hu went crazy and slammed the door, demanding that he return the child to him. Fortunately, Ji Jiang's mother appeared in time. At the same time that the bell hanging under the eaves rang, Sang Hu's ghost left Ji Jiang's body. But at that moment, the controller suddenly arrived, saying that Ji Jiang's fingerprints were found on Sang Hu's body and wanted to arrest him urgently on murder charges. Episode 5 is here. See you tomorrow to watch Episode 6.